Okay, let's make sure we get on this date this coming weekend. Oh, so sorry, Damien.
Cutie?
Yes?
Do you like theater? Plays?
I don't know. Why?
Well, the drama club is doing Medea this week, and I kinda want to see it, but I don't want to go by myself.
What's Medea?
It's a classic Greek tragedy. It's about a witch whose lover betrays her and the terrible things she does for revenge.
That doesn't sound very nice.
That's why it's a tragedy. They're doing it Friday and Saturday night, and I was thinking I'd rather go Friday.
Is it free?
No, it's $5 for students. So, do you want to come?
I think I promised you that I would go the next time, so yes, I'll go with you. Since it's Friday night, not Saturday afternoon, should not interfere with us going with my date with Damien. Okay. Sure, alright.
Thanks.
I'd better figure out what else I'm doing this week. Right. Gym, white, sleep, white. Something like that. Ah. Boo. Not a good start. Okay. Why is it so hard to get stronger? I'm getting ready for dinner when someone knocks on the door.
Hey,
Hi guys, what's up?
want to earn some easy merits?
Doing what?
Butching and baking and candlestick making.
Butching? That's not the right word.
It could be. She's a horse.
You ever been kicked by one?
What did you want me to do again?
He already said, are you in or not?
I can't say no to merits. And I can still be friends with Donald, I'm sure. Fine, lead on. The boys lead me to a classroom with a stove set up at the back, normally used for potions making. There are several pots and a collection of metal cylinders on the floor nearby. They don't have lids, and they're not the right size for any pipes I know of. What are they? There you are! Now, if you'll just hold still for a moment. A wave of green magic rolls over me. That should improve your resistance to heat and stop you from burning yourself too easily. Of course, you'll still need to be careful. Especially you, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yes, ma'am.
You have an instruction sheet here with all the steps, including the proportions for the dyes and fragrance oils. Do you have any questions?
We're cool.
Alright, I'm going out for a while, but I'll be back shortly to keep an eye on things. Don't worry, I won't interfere. I might even bring my knitting. She walks out, leaving me with two boys who obviously haven't told me everything. What are we doing here?
Making candles. It's for the fundraiser thing.
What fundraiser thing?
The school sells stuff at the mall to raise money.
Oh. So she's not still mad at you about last week, then?
Who, Potsdam? Nah, she was never really mad. She loves me.
If she loves you so much, why doesn't she marry you?
What?
She's an old lady, you goon.
She's not that old, but too old for you, I'm sure. And we shouldn't talk like this in case she comes back.
Right, candles.
So how does it work?
Set off the wick, melt the wax, pour it in, then cool it down. Easy. You can cast a seal spell, right?
No.
Alright, you run the wax and Luke can do the wicks.
Sure.
Okay, the wax is set up in a double boiler. Make sure there's always water in there, and keep an eye on the temperature. If the wax gets too hot, it will explode.
Explode?
That's why Potsdam heat-proofed us. Just keep an eye on it. As long as you're watching, you'll have time to catch it if it starts going wrong. When the wax chunks are melted down, mix in the oil and the color, then stir it with a wooden spoon.
Have you done this before?
No, I read the directions. It's not that hard. Once a pot is ready, you can pour it into the molds.
And what are you going to do while we're working?
I get the hard part. You'll see.
Working together, Luke and I assemble and fill candle molds.
Alright, stand back. Here I go.
I can feel the magic in the air, but I'm not sure what he's doing. What is that?
Shh, hang on.
He's still casting it? Okay, this is a tougher spell than usual. A minute later, he relaxes.
There you go. You can cut off the ends now.
I look inside the mold. Not only has the wax cooled, but it's shrunken away from the sides of the mold completely evenly.
You can't cool it all at once or it'll collapse. And if you leave it to cool on its own, it sinks full of holes. So it's tricky.
Couldn't you just shape the wax around the wick in the first place without melting it?
It wouldn't work right afterwards. It wouldn't blend right.
And so we produce a nice set of candles. None of the steps are terribly difficult, but done over and over, it is tiring. Wonderful work, ducklings! 10 merits for each of you. And that's why we do these things. A job well done. And some well-earned merits, I think. Good thing I scheduled sleep for this day. That was lucky. Call. Cause creatures in the surrounding physical area to be drawn to the caster. Ellen and I meet outside the gym. There are a lot of people here. Not just students, but ordinary people and families who must have driven up here to see the play. After we buy our tickets, we can go inside. Folding chairs have been set up in rows across the gym floor facing the stage. Behind the stage, a giant backdrop painting hangs on the wall, displaying marble pillars and steps to suggest a fantasy of ancient Greece. At least it looks like a painting. It's probably an illusion. That's got to be a lot easier than having to paint something so huge. We find a place to sit without anyone too tall in front of us. After a while, the show begins. Show watching dots. It was every bit as tragic as Ellen suggested, and bloody too. Nice special effects, though.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Isn't that Shakespeare?
No, it was someone else. Cosgrove, I think, from The Morning Bride.
So what's that one about? Another story of murder and revenge?
Sort of. It's complicated. Let me see if I can remember. The rebel leader kidnaps a princess, but then they fall in love and get secretly married. But then there's a shipwreck, and she's washed up alone and rescued by her father, the king. So the king wants to marry her off to his ally, and she doesn't dare tell him she's already married to his enemy, and she thinks the rebel fellow is dead anyway. Only he's not, because he was washed up somewhere else, and rescued by a queen who falls in love with him, and the king falls in love with the queen, but they're enemies. So everyone loves someone who loves someone else, and they all try to murder the people that they think have betrayed them, and then they feel guilty and try to change their minds. Only it's too late because the plots are already in motion, so they all end up killed by their own assassins. So the moral is, I guess, that revenge is dangerous.
Or else don't change your mind.
Even if a man treated me like Jason, I would never do what Medea did.
Well, of course you wouldn't do that. But if someone I loved betrayed me... We did this last time. Let's see what, We did talk about punishing Damien earlier, so why not? She took it way too far, but Jason deserved to suffer for the way he treated her. You can't let people get away with that. He should have been punished.
I suppose.
You know what they say, don't get mad, get even. Just, not by killing people. Bad plan. I hear someone nearby snicker. But when I turn to look, I can't tell who it was. Half the audience is still milling around after all.
Anyway, thanks for coming with me.
No problem. That was weird. Okay, let's do this date thing. Well, I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere, so I can catch some extra sleep. We're in a hurry. Cutie! Huh? I blink a few times and hurry to get dressed and head out into the hall. Oh, must have been Damien calling me? Cutie!
No seas capello, Damien. It's too early for this.
Ah, there she is. He came here calling for me? Sorry, Isabel, it's my fault. She looks back and forth between us, then shrugs and returns to her room. Thanks for coming up to check, Isabel. You didn't have to do that. Fair is fair, right? Very funny. So, no detentions today? Nope. Then you're free to meet me for dinner? Then are you free to meet me for dinner? Yes. Then I'll see you later. Oh, Damien. I didn't see Damien in the shuttle van on the way over. I'm not sure if he's here somewhere already or if he isn't coming until later. Since we're supposed to be having dinner, we won't be meeting for a couple of hours, so he has plenty of time. I've never seen him here, actually. Although we've never been to the mall yet in this playthrough, so I don't know what Cutie's talking about. I don't see absolutely everyone in the mall, of course, but he's sort of hard to miss. But can he go to a place like this looking like he does? He said when he went to the Apple Festival he had to disguise himself. If he's wearing an illusion, he could be right here and I'd never know it. He could be anyone. A little boy, an old man, or a woman in a suit. Except, I don't think so. Looking at the people around me, somehow I'm sure that none of them could be Damien. Even under an illusion, he would never slouch or shuffle like some ordinary teenager. He's a falcon to the core. That grace would always shine through. So if he's not here, what should I do while I wait? Yeah, let's go to the magic store and see if we can buy anything. I can get my star wand. I kinda like to save up for the bat wings, though. What's the halo do? Perfect circlet of gold, polished and enhanced with spiritual energy to enhance one's aura in the other world. White magic plus 35. Wow. What if I try? I can't afford that. I had to know. Okay. Maybe I'll save up some more money than not get anything just yet. Finish my shopping and join my fellow students to return to Iris Academy. No, don't do that. At the arranged time, I wait near the main entrance for Damien. Okay, good, we didn't do that. There he is! And looking just like he always does. None of the non-magical shoppers seem to notice. Hello, cutie. Are you ready? Where are we going? You'll see. It's not far, just across the parking lot. I didn't see any restaurant there. It's hidden, of course. The easiest way to find it is to go with someone who's been before. Shall we? He offers me his arm, and with minor hesitation, I lay my hand on it. It's slightly embarrassing for a friendly outing, but I do need him to guide me. And so together we leave the mall. Oh yeah, friendly. Let's have a friendly dinner date, just the two of us. Ah, the Glen. Haven't been here in a while. When we reach the restaurant, I stop and stare. Stop and stare. Not quite what you were expecting. It looks so normal. After passing the invisibility barriers, I was ready for anything. But this place could be any number of restaurants I've eaten at with my parents. The only obvious difference is the customers. Damien isn't the only one here with wings. There's a little figure at one of the tables who looks like a cross between a bird and a goblin. And across the way, I see Jacob sitting with two older men, one of whose hair is apparently on fire. Oh, that must be his, father's. I think he mentioned that when we were doing Virginia's, playthrough. So one of his dads has hair that's on fire. Interesting. It is simpler to rely on standard suppliers and build something in keeping with the world. They save their energy for the food. In the other world, there are no limits. You can eat off floating platters in a crystal palace. Have you been there? I haven't graduated yet. But being what you are, isn't it safe? Professor Potsdam said, let's have this conversation later. Why are you blushing? Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. No, I want to tell you, but I think we should order first. Okay, seems reasonable. We sit at a booth and I look around for a menu without seeing one. Then Damien takes a narrow cylinder from a vase on the center of the table, unrolls it, and hands it to me. A scroll. I look over the listings, but I have no idea what most of them are. They're not even all in the same language, as far as I can tell. Would you like me to order for you? Let him order, pick something at random, ask for a hamburger, ask for grilled cheese. What if they don't make these things? Let's just pick something at random. We're horses, let's be adventurous about this. Trying to look like I know what I'm doing. I stab my finger at an entry on the scroll and show it to the waiter, who nods. Damien, on the other hand, rattles off a quick string of syllables that mean nothing to me. He catches my expression and smiles. My brave little horse. See? Horse. I'm a horse. Well, you said it's a good restaurant, right? So I'm sure it will turn out. A few minutes later, the appetizers arrive. Damien has a set of tiny eggs inside a nest of leaves, and I have a plate of very thin ham over slices of orange fruit. Cantaloupe, I think. Interesting. Together, they're salty and sweet and very nice, even if it's not like anything I've had before. A waitress comes by to clear the appetizer plates, and we wait for the main course. So, I suppose it's time. Time? To tell you about where I come from. Oh, this should be good. Please, promise me you won't repeat this story to anyone else. I promise. It's not easy to talk about. You don't have to if you really don't want to. No, I know you. Being who you are, I don't believe you'll judge me the same way. You don't have the same expectations because you weren't born to magic. Neither was I. What? But you're... not human, but my parents are. Huh? I'm a changeling. Oh, I see. You were swapped as a baby. As far as I know. I don't exactly remember. But, you're blue. I think they'd sort of notice. I didn't look like this until later. Yeah, usually changelings look exactly like humans until puberty, I think, and then they reveal their true nature or something like that, if I recall. I grew up always believing that there was something wrong with me, that the face I saw in the mirror wasn't right, but I didn't know why. Oh, I imagined all sorts of things. Perhaps my parents weren't my parents. Perhaps I was a lost prince, and someday my real family would come and take me away. And save me. I think every unhappy child imagines that. He brushes stray crumbs off the table, not meeting my eyes. Did they come? Your birth family? No, I've never seen them. I wish they had. Even if one's a demon, they couldn't be well, when I turned 13, I saw my true face for the first time. I was terrified. I had to learn to hide it and pretend to be normal, even though I knew it was all a lie. It was quite a shock when I came to Iris and everyone started demanding to know my bloodline. I couldn't tell them, and I didn't want to explain. Why would they even ask? That's rude. Yeah, it is incredibly rude. You see, that's why I could tell you this, because it doesn't matter to you. They want to know who I'm related to, so they know my status. There aren't that many all-magical families, and they're very proud of who they are. And when I wouldn't answer their questions, because I couldn't, that made them think I had something to hide. Especially William. His eyes flick back and forth, and suddenly he leans back in his seat and smiles. Okay. Before I can ask why, the waiter arrives to bring the main course. Ah, yes. Gotta change your expression. I understand. Bon appetit. The food is good, but my mind is too full of questions to really pay attention. There's obviously a lot more to the story, but for someone who has trouble trusting others, he's probably told me more than he wants to already. I don't want to push him by asking for more. At last, he looks up from his plate. Did you know that William was originally a falcon? I just found that out, actually, yes. What? We were hallmates at first, freshman year. He said he barely knew you because you were on a different hall. He probably didn't want to spoil his image by telling you what happened. Being kicked out of Falcon Hall for starting a fist fight doesn't sound very cool, does it? Uh-huh. A fight with you? He kept trying to break into my room. He followed me around, but I wouldn't tell him anything. No, let's talk about something else. Right. Do you come here often? Oh, occasionally, but not for a while. It's much nicer when you have someone to share it with. You'll like the dessert. The dessert? There's only one? Well, it's possible to request an extra if you're greedy, but I don't think it would be good for you. The dessert plate is provided to everyone, gratuit, even if you only came for coffee. It's part of the magical tradition of hospitality. No guest should go without. That's nice. He settles back in his seat and looks at me. Have you ever considered wearing some sort of ornaments in your hair? Something like that could really bring out the color of your eyes. I don't know. I'm a falcon. We like pretty things. Last year there was a senior in Butterfly Hall who wore a golden circlet with an enormous flower on each side of her head that changed colors as the day went by. Oh, that sounds really neat. You should have seen her. She was beautiful. Dark hair like a waterfall. Great. I poke absently at my plate and set my silverware down and allow the waiter to take it away. You know, it's not very polite to talk about other women in front of me. A few minutes later, the dessert plates arrive. Strawberries? Look more closely. I look again. They're shaped like strawberries, but their surfaces are smooth and seedless and slightly shiny, like candy. Is that, marzipan? I've heard the word, but I don't really know what it means. No, it's better. They're blown sugar glass. Careful, they're fragile. Put one in your mouth and suck gently. Okay. That doesn't sound wrong at all. I pick up a sugar berry and pop it into my mouth. For a moment, there's just a vague sweetness as the sugar melts on my tongue. Then all of a sudden, a burst of liquid flavor. Damien laughs at the surprise on my face. They're filled with strawberry juice. It's supposed to provide energy. Why doesn't the sugar dissolve? Magic. Of course. After finishing the strawberries, I do feel energized. We chat a bit more, and then Damien pays the bill, trying to hide the amount from my eyes. And then it's time to find a van back to campus. All throughout, he's been a perfect gentleman. A friend, and not a hint of anything more. Oh, cutie, don't be so naive. He wants more than that, I know it. Hi, drama. Ellen asked me to go with her to a play this Friday. Candle making. Donald, Luke, and I helped make candles for the school fundraiser and earned 10 merits. Best served cold. Ellen and I went to see Medea, the fall play, and then talked about the dangers of revenge. Obviously, it's stupid to try and kill someone for cheating on you, but if someone intentionally betrays you, they deserve to get what's coming to them. Ooh. Morning serenade. Damien came to my room this morning to invite me out to dinner. Secret Glen. I had dinner at the Glen with Damien. It was mostly like a normal restaurant, but with a few exciting touches of magic. Damien told me a little about his past, how unhappy he was growing up, and how he doesn't know what happened to his birth parents. Then he came here to Iris Academy, and everyone started picking on him. Aww. Poor Damien. At least we finally had our date with him. What an eventful week. Whew.